On August 7, 2025, the world of Latin music lost a towering figure whose rhythms and melodies shaped the soul of salsa and Latin jazz for over 6 decades. Eddie Palmieri, the Grammy-winning pianist, composer, and bandleader, passed away at 88 in his New Jersey home after a prolonged illness, as confirmed by his daughter Gabriela and Fania Records. Born in Spanish Harlem to Puerto Rican parents, Eddie's thunderous piano and innovative tanga sound revolutionized Latin music, blending Afro-Caribbean beats with jazz, funk, and soul. From his iconic band La Perfecta to hits like Pa Ti and Pa El Monte, he was a pioneer who gave voice to the Puerto Rican diaspora, a devoted husband to Iretta for nearly 60 years until her passing in 2014, a father of 5, and a mentor to countless musicians. Eddie's life was a vibrant tapestry of passion, resilience, and cultural pride. His music was a call to dance, to resist, and to celebrate. Today, we honor Eddie Palmieri's extraordinary journey, his cause of death, age, family, net worth, lifestyle, and biography, a story of a man who made the piano a drum and the world his stage. Eddie Palmieri was born Eduardo Palmieri on December 15, 1936. In New York City's Spanish Harlem, a vibrant hub of Puerto Rican culture known as El Barrio. His parents, Isabel Maldonado and Carlos Palmieri, had migrated from Ponce, Puerto Rico in 1926. Settling in the South Bronx, where Eddie and his older brother Charlie were raised, music was woven into their lives from the start, their mother a seamstress and their father a handyman filled their home with Puerto Rican rhythms, while the streets of El Barrio pulsed with mambo and jazz. At 8, Eddie began piano lessons, guided by his uncle, a timbalero in a Latin dance band, and the legendary Margaret Allison Bonds, the first African-American woman to perform with the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. By 11, he performed at Carnegie Hall, his fingers dancing across the keys with a fire that hinted at his future. Inspired by his brother Charlie, a gifted pianist known as the Giant of the Keyboards, and jazz icons like Thelonious Monk and McCoy Tyner, Eddie found his calling. At 13, he briefly switched to timbales and his uncle's orchestra, drawn to the drum's raw energy, but soon returned to the piano, later joking, "I'm a frustrated percussionist, so I take it out on the piano." Those early years in the Bronx shaped a musician whose rhythms would echo across the world. Eddie's professional career ignited in the 1950s, a time when New York's Latin music scene was ablaze with mambo and big bands. At 14, he formed a group with timbales player Orlando and vocalist Joe Quiano, but artistic conflicts pushed him to join Johnny's orchestra in 1955, followed by stints with Vincentico and the legendary Tito Mambo Orchestra. In 1961, at 24, Eddie founded Conjunto La Perfecta, a band that broke every rule, replacing the traditional trumpet frontline with trombones and a flute dubbed the trombonga by his brother Charlie. La era with trombonist Barry Rogers and singer Ismael Quintana created a bold, brassy sound that fused Afro-Cuban rhythms with jazz. Their Ijeolu album, PAT, became a dance floor anthem, later added to the U.S. National Recording Registry for its cultural significance. Eddie's percussive piano style, pounding forearms and elbows into the keys, was electrifying, earning him the nickname El Rumbero del Piano. La Perfecta's albums for Allegri Records like Echando Palante defined the salsa explosion of the 1960s. Joining the ranks of Maquito and Tito Puente, Eddie's music wasn't just sound, it was a movement, a celebration of Puerto Rican identity in a city often hostile to its diaspora. The 1970s marked Eddie's most daring era. After La Perfecta disbanded in 1968, he pushed boundaries with Harlem River Drive in 1971. A groundbreaking album that blended salsa, funk, soul, and jazz. Protesting systemic inequalities faced by Puerto Ricans in New York, featuring Charlie on organ, the album's title track became an anthem of resistance. That same year, Palante with Charlie again captured the raw energy of El Barrio. In 1974, Eddie won the first ever Grammy for Best Latin Recording for the Son of Latin Music, a historic moment as the first Latino to claim the award. Arranged by and Barry Rogers' collaborations with singers like Ismael Quintana, Kio Feliciano, and a young Lalo, brought hits like Belongo, and each a testament to Eddie's ability to weave Afro-Cuban rhythms with jazz's complexity. His 1973 song Puerto Rico from Sentido became an enduring anthem for salsa fans, a love letter to his roots. The decade saw Eddie perform at the Amadou Festival in 1979 alongside Bob Marley and Patti LaBelle, cementing his place as a global musical force. His relentless innovation, as he told NPR's Piano Jazz in 1997, was about exciting you with my music, I know it. The 1980s and 1990s brought challenges and triumphs. The death of Charlie in 1988 was a devastating blow, a loss he felt deeply. Having recorded together on albums like Palmieri, yet Eddie pressed on, reuniting with Quintana and Feliciano for albums like Palo Pa Rumba and La India via Eddie Palmieri, both Grammy winners. In 1987, he collaborated with Tony Vega on La Verdad, The Truth, and in 1992, he introduced La India to the world, launching her career. The 2000s saw Eddie briefly retire, but he returned with masterpiece Obra Maestra, a collaboration with Tito Puente that won 2 Grammys, marking Day's final recording. In 2005 and 2006, Eddie won back-to-back Grammys for Listen Here, with trumpeter Brian Lynch, featuring jazz giants like Phil Woods and Lenny White. His 2013 NIE Jazz Master Award and Latin Recording Academy Lifetime Achievement Award recognized his indelible impact. Even in his 80s, Eddie remained a force, releasing in 2017 and Mi Las Mayor in 2018 with Carlos Santana and Gilberto Santa Rosa, and performing free concerts in Bryant Park and Boston Common in 2024. His daughter, Gabriella, called him the #1, a nod to his unrelenting drive. Eddie's personal life was as rich as his music. He married Ireta Palmieri in the 1950s, and their nearly 60-year marriage was a cornerstone of his life until her passing in 2014. Together, they raised 5 children: Gabriella, Eddie Alana, and Edward II in New Jersey, where Eddie settled after years in Queens. Gabriella, an assistant vice president at CBS, and Edward II, his manager, were particularly close to his career, while his grandchildren, especially Joshua, inspired songs like Slow Visor. Eddie's bond with Charlie was profound, their sibling rivalry in talent contests evolving into a lifelong musical partnership. The loss of Charlie in 1988 and Ireta in 2014 were heart-wrenching, but Eddie found solace in his family and music. Longtime friend, Michelle Charon, who danced to La Perfecta at the Palladium Ballroom, passed in 2025, another loss for Eddie's circle. His Puerto Rican heritage was his heartbeat, reflected in his music's Afro-Cuban roots and his activism, like Harlem River Drive's protest against inequality. Eddie's lifestyle was a blend of discipline and exuberance. His net worth estimated at $2.50 to $5 million in 2023. Came from his prolific career, nearly 40 albums, 10 Grammy Awards, and decades of touring. He lived modestly in New Jersey, driving a simple sedan and spending evenings at home listening to records by Monk or Makito. An avid scholar of Afro-Caribbean music, he'd lecture on its history, tracing rhythms to the 12 million Africans brought to the Americas. As he shared on Piano Jazz, Eddie loved New York's energy, often playing clubs like the Blue Note, where in 2024 fans lined up for his set Clave rhythms. As noted in The New Yorker, he was a mentor, spotting talents like Lalo and La India, and a teacher, giving workshops at institutions like City College. His home was filled with memorabilia, Grammy statuettes, a 1998 Berkeley honorary doctorate, and photos from his 2004 tribute to Charlie at Lincoln Center. Despite health concerns that forced him to cancel a 2025 South Beach Jazz Festival appearance, Eddie remained active, recording new music and joking about a Bad Bunny collaboration, saying, "I love carrots." Eddie's final years were marked by resilience. His daughter Gabriella confirmed he passed on August 7, 2025, at 88 after an extended illness, though no specific cause was disclosed. Posts on X and reports from the New York Times and Fania Records noted his long battle with health issues, likely exacerbated by age and a demanding career. Tributes poured in from across the music world. Fania Records mourned one of the most innovative artists in music history, while NPR called him a pioneering bandleader whose rhythms forged new paths. Fans on X shared clips of Puerto Rico, and one writing, "Eddie's piano was the heartbeat of salsa." A July 2024 proclamation named August 7th Eddie Palmieri Day in New York City. and his October 2024 induction into jazz at Lincoln Center's Hall of Fame celebrated his legacy. His 2013 score for Doing It in the Park, a documentary on playground basketball, on his 2018 albums, showed he never stopped creating. Survived by his 5 children and grandchildren, Eddie's music remains a testament to his Nuyorican pride and unyielding spirit. Key. Eddie Palmieri's life was a symphony of rhythm, rebellion, and love. From Spanish Harlem to global stages, he transformed Latin music with La Perfecta's trombones, Harlem River Drive's fusion, and a piano that roared like a drum. His 10 Grammys, neat Jazz Master Award, and place in the National Recording Registry only hint at his impact. He gave voice to Puerto Rico's diaspora, mentored legends, and danced through life with Aretha by his side. As he told The New Yorker in 2024, his music was an invitation to his Esquila school of rhythm and resistance. Felipe Luciano's words in the masterpiece liner notes capture him best. Eddie is a guerrilla fighter / on-burn pianist who takes no prisoners. If Eddie Palmieri's story of passion, innovation, and cultural pride has moved you, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's keep his rhythms alive, a clave that still calls us to dance. Thank you for joining us in celebrating Eddie Palmieri's extraordinary life. Until next time, let his music inspire you.